Today's customer moves fluidly across what we call channels. They'll research on the website and buy in store, or they'll research in store and buy online. They care about convenience. At Matalan, we sell clothing, homewares, underwear, furniture, shoes, items for your kitchen and items for your bathroom. Our strength has always been the connection with the customer, but we faced a fundamental challenge. Our teams, our data, our goals, but we were marketed. Everything sat in channels. How could we serve this increasingly omnichannel customer and remain relevant as a retailer when our marketing wasn't aligned with how today's customer really behaves? Say you're buying a school uniform for your kids. You do a bit of research online, you check the price, you check the stock, you check the quality. But then you might want to go to the store to buy it, see it for yourself and check the fit. Google's technology allowed us to understand with high confidence the full omnichannel journey for our customers. How many people clicked on an advert, visited our store, and then bought a product. For example, bidding on luggage online wasn't giving us the best e-commerce returns. But when we factored in store sales, it was one of our highest returning lines. With the data that Google provided us with, we saw that mobile was the single biggest driver of footfall and sales in our stores. Reorganising a 30-year-old business for the mobile age was never going to be easy. Our marketing was very traditional, but having powerful data like Google store visits alongside our existing store sales data made the case for building more local tactics into our online strategy. So here in Knaresborough, we trialled bidding more for customers that were in close proximity to the store and found that they were much more likely to visit after clicking on an ad. So you might see an ad here, but you wouldn't see an ad here. Having the right KPIs and metrics in place means we can run these experiments and really understand what difference it makes to our bottom line. I think any organisational change was always going to be a big job. But with these insights and attributing revenue, we'll be able to drive a much better customer experience, and that will be something that really drives the growth for our business.
Good morning and welcome to the Google Partners Retail Livestream. We're thrilled to have you with us here today, and we've got a fantastic lineup of speakers to help dive into some of the ins and outs of the retail industry. My name is Nate Desmond. I am a Partners Marketing Manager here at Google, and today we're going to dive into some of the changes and opportunities we've seen happen in retail over 2017, as well as looking a little bit forward at some of the opportunities we see coming up in 2018. We'll do a little bit of a deep dive into Google Shopping Ads, both what it takes to build a successful foundation, and also some of the more advanced strategies that you can work with your agency to really take your shopping campaigns to the next level and find success advertising online. With that being said, one last thing before we kick off. You have a fantastic opportunity right now in that you're currently sitting in a room with the Google Partner Agency. And what that means is it's not just some random agency. These are agencies that are Google certified to be able to help you grow your business online. And in many cases, they actually have specific experience in the retail industry to help you build your business successfully. So take the time while you're there, ask some questions while we're talking up here, ask some questions after we talk, and in the coming weeks and days, follow up with the agency and see what they can do to help your specific business take advantage of some of the strategies we're going to be covering today. With that, let me hand over to Tucci. She's an account strategist here at Google and a little bit of a veteran in the retail industry. So let's see what she has to say about what's changed over 2017 and what you can do as a business to help take advantage of some of those changes.
Thank you very much, Nate. So happy Q4, Christmas ready. Before we begin, let's take a moment to think about Q4 last year. Grab your computer, mobile, pen and paper, and take a moment to jot down the challenges you faced last year and the opportunities that you saw. Specifically answer this. Did you spend the year getting to know your customer better? Who are they? What are their interests? What did they buy? How did they buy it? How did they do their research and where? Did your website crash? More importantly, how did your mobile site perform? And how was your conversion rate on mobile? So if your answers to these were not positive, don't worry, you are not alone. I talk to large and small retailers each day, and I can tell you they share the same challenges that you face. And the reason for this is, well, shopping behavior has changed dramatically in the last 5 years. Your customers now have the knowledge they need at their fingertips. instant access on their mobile device. They want information in the moment, no matter where they are. Your customers are now more informed and they're taking the time to research. They shop with intent. UK shoppers have truly become more purposeful, so they're more informed, more focused, and better prepared than ever before. The role of the physical store is also changing. Look at the data to prove it. Over the past few years, store traffic has decreased by 60%, but in-store sales have increased. So people are shopping with intent. As online shopping now allows you to find and browse endlessly, find your desired products, know what store location they can be found in, if they're in stock or not, all before making the effort to go in the store and purchase. So let's look at the online and offline store play together. 81% of shoppers are researching for their desired product before going in store. Therefore, brands that reach their potential customer online before going in store have at least 25% higher chance of conversion. Take, for example, last year, mobile and online shopping searches grew more than 25% on Black Friday year over year. Your customers are often standing in store, researching and comparing products from their mobile devices. So ensuring that your brand is present online is the first step. And now you have to ensure you reach your valuable customers. How? Well, you must meet the customer's needs truly and understand their intent. One size fits all marketing won't work anymore. Today's consumers will choose to purchase from brands that provide more personalized offerings and interactions tailored to their specific needs, surfaced at just the right time. As the slide shows, 9 out of 10 consumers would buy from a company that best predicts their intent. So pause for a moment and think about how tailored your message was last holiday. Did you take into account all the signals you were getting from your customers and potential customers? How are you segmenting your online customer? Did you customize your advertising or rely on general mass marketing? So Google has so many solutions to support you to find and understand the right customer for your business at the time of true intent, creating value for your business. Take a moment to think how you are set up to capture and segment your audience data before you begin to drive traffic at peak season. This will inform where you concentrate your budget and assist you in getting to know your customer's intent. So 2 years ago, we reported seeing 50% traffic coming from mobile. Last year, during peak in the UK, our shopping queries on mobile were double that of desktop. This is a huge shift in consumer behavior. So what can you do now? Let's take a look at the UK industry and what we have learned from last year to inform us. 800 million was spent shopping on Christmas Day. 1.1 billion was spent online on Black Friday. So Black Friday is upon us and consumers now see it as a week, not just a day. They're spending time to research, ready to purchase when the deal strikes. If your brand doesn't do Black Friday, be aware that your competitors do, and your customers are not loyal to the brand on Black Friday. They want the best deal and the fastest way to get it. So to summarize, the UK retail industry is changing fast due to the knowledge your consumers have at their fingertips, but also the knowledge that we have about their shopping intent and behaviors. Now your job is to ensure you capture this and use it to inform your business decisions. So now, Simon will take you through a deep dive into how Google's shopping products can assist you in your growth plans for Q4 and into 2018. Thank you, Simon.
Thanks, Tuche. So hi, everybody. My name is Simon Balfe, and I work with a number of our top agencies in the UK. And thanks for the introduction. So as Tuche mentioned, there's quite a lot of consumer patterns and changing trends that we're seeing at the moment. And what I wanted to do is take a deep dive into Google Shopping ads. It's a really, really interesting area. Having seen 5 different Christmas periods since I've been with Google, it's been fascinating to see the development of shopping ads. And they're obviously a really, really critical area for any retailer at this time of the year. So what I'm going to cover today is a quick overview of what are shopping ads and why they're so popular. Secondly, we'll look at what you need to know in order to be able to set up to use shopping ads. And finally, we'll look at some advanced strategies and also some product features and updates about where we're going to next with shopping. So shopping launched in 2012, the year I started in Google. We've now got 150,000 merchants selling products. There are 500 million products available to buy, and it's live in 27 countries. So why is shopping so popular? Why has it grown so quickly? One of the reasons we can look at is just to actually compare it to a standard text ad. So in this example here on the left, you can see standard text ad that you're used to seeing. And on the right-hand side, you can see a shopping ad. A couple of things that stick out straight away are that there's an image, there's a price, and it is a more engaging ad format. Shopping is great for people who are at the bottom of the purchase funnel. They've decided what they want to buy, and we help them get directly to that page on your site. Here you can see a bit more detail of what a user can see. So standard shopping ad on the left. In the middle, you can see the user can go away from google.co.uk and into the shopping property, and you can view a bit more detail there. And then finally, clicking into a product can allow you to compare quite easily and look at product reviews, etc. So it's a really good place for users who are, as I said, ready to purchase, but maybe if they need a bit more context, a bit more detail to look at some reviews, compare prices, etc., they can do that really easily through shopping. Now, to give you an example of a retailer that wasn't actually using shopping and how it's performed for them. So Kaufman, they're a Danish fashion retailer. They've been in business for over 100 years. They were just using text ads as standard. Then they decided to work with an agency to help them set up shopping campaigns. They did that, and they compared the results that they saw with shopping campaigns versus their text ads. And what they saw were some pretty staggering results. So they saw a 71% increase in conversions, 267% increase in click-through rates, and a 44% increase in online revenue. So really, really strong stats show that it worked for them, and it's definitely worth considering if you're setting up for the first time. Now, a bit more detail into how shopping campaigns actually work and what you need to provide. So first of all, there's a separate property called the Merchant Center. There you'll need an account to be set up in order to be able to put your products that you want to sell into the system. You do that using a data feed. So this is essentially a spreadsheet that contains all the detail of the products that you want to sell. And I'm going to show you a bit more detail on that next. And then finally, within AdWords, you need a shopping campaign to be able to say how much you want to bid and to make sure those ads go live. And they're the three basic steps for it. Now, in terms of a feed, I want to spend a bit of time talking about the feed, because if you're going to work with an agency for shopping campaigns, they'll be able to take a huge amount of the work off your plate and be able to get the best results for you. But when it comes to a feed, a lot of that detail will actually come from you, the direct retailer. And the quality of this information is extremely important. So there are a number of things that will be absolutely mandatory to have. So things like title, the description, the price of the product, the image, the landing page, the brand, etc. They're the kind of things we absolutely need to have. There are some other features that are optional, but we'd always recommend to try and give all of the detail that you have. Try and include all of the detail in the feed. And this is so that you're set up for success in the future. We often have details that are mandatory to begin with, and they are optional to begin with, and they end up being mandatory as they are just really, really important for the product to work well. And so getting the right level of detail here is really key, and ensuring you get this right will help you set up for success in shopping. Then if we look at what I like to call the life cycle of a product, all the way from the feed all the way down through to the click. So at the beginning, we look at this. These are all the products that you've uploaded. Something to call out is that you'll most likely see some errors. Very rarely do we see a feed that has no errors. So as it is processed, you might see some processing errors, you might see some data quality or policy issues. This is totally normal, and your agencies will be used to seeing this as well. The next thing then you look at is how many products are actually advertised. So do we have a campaign set up to reach all of our products? And this is something that agencies will be familiar with, the need to set up a all products campaign. So this is a campaign that says, I want to target every product that's within my feed. That's the basic campaign that you'll look to have. And then after that, you'll have something that's a bit more specific. Then if you're maybe live for a month or so with your shopping campaigns, it'd be good to check in on this and see how many products have actually been clicked, how many have served an impression as an ad. And this is a really nice way to ensure that you've got a good coverage, and we can look to see if there's any improvements that need to be made. Now, when it talks about campaign structure, Google don't actually give one standard best practice that everyone should adopt. And agencies are the real experts in terms of managing shopping campaigns. So they'll know how to set things up to get the best return, and they'll know which type of campaign structure will work best for them in terms of their reporting and in terms of their optimization. So do lean heavily on the agency to be able to direct you in this regard. The one thing that I would say to you as a direct retailer to input here is to think about if you've got a specific way of reporting that you'd like to know. So on a weekly or monthly basis, do you want to know how different brands are doing, or do you want to know how different categories of clothing are doing, for example? So feed that into the agencies and they'll be able to set up a campaign that meets your needs. So an example here of a standard campaign might be to have a different campaign per brand. So one for Nike, one for Adidas, one for New Balance. And then within that, you'd have an ad group set up for each different category type. If we're thinking about an 80-20 rule, where 20% of your products are actually getting 80% of your sales, you might look at something for those top products as a more of advanced campaign. And this is where you'll essentially have more ad groups broken out with more specific subcategories. The main reason for doing that is that you can get a bit more granular with your bidding and the controls that gets, and it ensures that you get a better return. So your agency will be able to dive into it in a bit more detail for those top products and get you that bit more return for your marketing spend. So now you've got all the basics, you've got your feed in there, you've got your products showing as shopping ads. You think about a couple of things that can help you stand out from the crowd. So we know that users love a deal, they like to get an offer, and especially at this time of the year, that's going to be extremely important. So if you've got an option where you've got a sale, you can use our merchant promotions. And this is where you've got a code that the user will see in the shopping ad that they can then apply for the discount in the basket page. Now, something else that is actually quite a recent development, and our agencies would have been proactively told about this from their Google reps, is something around reporting for positions. So if you're familiar with text ads, you'll know that there's position 1, 2, 3, and so on. And that with text ads, you generally get better performance in terms of traffic and click-through rate, etc., the higher up your ad shows. Now, we've never previously reported on this for shopping, but we've listened to the feedback from our agencies and also from our end clients who want to see some detail in terms of position reporting. So what we've recently announced is absolute top impression share. And that shows you how often your ad is showing in this top position out of all the times it's eligible to show. It's important because we know that about 25% of mobile shopping ad clicks come from that first position and about 20% on desktop. So your agency will be able to review those stats, and then they'll be able to use that to inform their bidding to make the right decisions. So let's say there's a specific product that you sell and you really want to have as much share of voice as possible. The agency will be able to look at how often you show in that first position and then change your bids off the back of that information. Now, another area that we can help is around enhanced CPC. So what I'm going to do again this time is compare it a bit to text ads, if you might be a bit more familiar with that. So when you've got a text ad, your agency will be able to bid differently for different search terms, depending on how likely that search term is to convert. So if we take a really generic search term like shoes, someone types in shoes, they don't really know what they want to buy yet. They're probably quite high up their purchase funnel. They're looking for a bit of inspiration. They want to compare products. For that type of query for a text ad, an agency will probably set quite a low bid. When it comes to something that's really specific, when the user now has exactly in mind what they want to buy, let's say they search for something like this at the top, Nike Internationalist Mid-Royal Men's Shoe. That's really specific. They want to buy that product, so let's help them buy it. For that term, with text ads, your agency will set a really specific, a really high bid because it's a specific term. They want to be really competitive there and make sure that your ad is shown at the top. When it comes to shopping campaigns, there are no keywords like there are for text ads. What we do is we use the query that the user has put in and the detail in your feed to be able to match to show them the right product. But because there are no keywords, we can't actually bid differently for those different search terms. So what enhanced CPC can do is that it takes your CPC, it takes the starting bid that your agency has given, and it will decrease or increase that bid based on how likely that term is to convert. So this is a feature that it's really important to use as an extra feature to work off the base bid that your agency has used, but it helps you get that bit more efficiency and better return for specific queries. Now, next, I'm going to talk a bit about audience. So Tuche mentioned the importance of this earlier. And if we were to think about if you have a physical store and if you got somebody who walked in for the first time into your shop versus somebody who walked in for the 17th time, you'd like to know that, and you would treat them slightly differently. So it's no different when they're coming into your website for the second time, having previously purchased versus somebody who's never been to your site before. So there's a couple of ways that you can do that to enhance your shopping activity. So the first is with remarketing lists. So this is where you've got a list of people who've performed an action or they've been on your site previously. Secondly is customer matching. This is quite interesting. And again, this is where your information can be really valuable. So this is where you would have a list of, let's say, email addresses of people who signed up to your newsletter, but maybe they never actually bought something. Or maybe they're somebody who bought something last year, but haven't bought anything yet this year. If you have a list of those email addresses segmented, you can use that to then treat them differently in shopping campaigns. So you would probably bid up more for somebody who's previously bought and is more likely to purchase again. And it's about using these audience signals to really be efficient with your bidding and ensure that you're getting the best performance. So as a summary of how to get the most out of shopping ads, first thing is all you really need to do is upload the product data. The agency then will be able to set up the campaigns and ensure that you're showing the right ad at the right time. Ensuring that you invest in the best quality data is the most important thing that you can do. So ensuring you've got really good quality images, your price and availability is up to date. That's going to ensure that you're set up for success with shopping campaigns. Next, then your agency will think about how to bid competitively for the key products. And you can feed in here to say, these are our top 20 selling products, or maybe these are the ones with the best margin, or these are the ones that are always in stock. These are our key products. If you give that information to your agency, they'll be able to set up specific campaigns to be more competitive for those top products for you. And finally, then prioritize your returning customers. These are the people who will most likely get you the best return from your ad spend. So ensure that you are treating them differently. Now I want to talk about the advanced strategies and think a bit about where we're going with shopping campaigns and what you can do once you've got all the basics set up. So at the moment, we take a user on mobile. If they're looking to buy something online, they can use your mobile shopping ads, go to your website, pretty straightforward. However, the next stage of that is if you're an omni-channel retailer, if somebody actually wants to buy an item that day, then what you can do with local inventory ads is actually direct them to where the nearest store is and also supply detail on how many products are in stock. So obviously we'll need information from you as the retailer in terms of keeping your inventory up to date, etc. But it's a great solution for somebody who wants to buy something today and doesn't want to wait for it to be delivered. Now, as I mentioned earlier, shopping is really great for people who are at the bottom of the purchase funnel. They know what they want to buy. We show them that specific product and they go to your site and buy it. But we know that about 40% of all of our kind of shopping queries are actually quite generic terms. And by that, I mean something like women's athletic clothing or living room furniture. And people haven't quite decided what they want to buy yet. They've got an idea of the type of thing they want, but they're looking for a bit of inspiration. And so showing them that one specific product is not necessarily the best experience for them. So what you can see here is something that we're launching called Showcase Shopping Ads. And these are designed to show to people who are searching for more generic terms, things like summer dresses. And what we'll do, as opposed to showing them one product, is that we'll show them a number of products here and some more lifestyle images to give them that bit of inspiration. They'll then be able to click through to the site as normal and hopefully go on to purchase. A couple of other areas that we have where people are looking for a bit of inspiration are Google image search and also YouTube. So if we think about image search first, we know that a huge number of people actually, when they're looking to buy something, will search it for an image to see what it looks like, to see anyone wearing it, etc. You've probably done that yourself. Your agency will now be able to show your shopping campaign ads on image search results where it makes sense to do it. We'll ensure that we've got the right query and the right product. Another area is around YouTube. So we know that people use YouTube extensively before they've actually bought a product, whether they're doing looking at a makeup tutorial or a product review. And here again, your agency can allow your shopping campaigns to show your ads on YouTube at the right time. And it really captures that commercial intent for when somebody is really looking to buy an item, but they're looking at a video on YouTube. More developed strategy behind this would be to actually look at something called TrueView for shopping. So this is where you create your own video campaign and then you feature your products within the ad here. Now, this doesn't have to be a big budget video campaign. It can be something quite simple. This time of the year, let's take making a Christmas pudding. So let's say you've got a very simple video on how to make Christmas pudding. And if you're selling products that are those ingredients, you could have them there so people can watch the video, click through and buy those ingredients straight away. What I would say here is thinking about what's relevant for the user. Think about a video that's useful for them and then allowing them to buy those products there and then makes it nice and easy. And that's everything for me. I'll hand back over to Nate.
Thank you, Simon. So there's a lot that we covered today, from the opportunities and challenges that are facing the retail industry and what you can do as a particular business to take advantage of those, as well as some of the different tactics and techniques and strategies that you can do to build a strong shopping campaign and then make it an even better shopping campaign. I know a lot of that stuff can be quite overwhelming. There's a lot going on, a lot to do, a lot to think about. And that is where I'd encourage you to talk with your Google partner agency there in the room. They are experts at this. They're experts at online and they're experts at Google Shopping in particular. So get their input, get their advice, sit down with them and think about, what does this mean for your business and where can you go? So with that, I'd like to hand it back over to the room, have the Google partner agency there take you through a bit more on what they can do to help. And thank you for attending today's Partner Connect live stream.